Let Century Management Solutions get you to your next medical appointment. They specialize in non-emergency medical transportation, connecting patients to care, safety, reliability, and on time. Their advanced technology platform seamlessly coordinates patients, healthcare providers, insurers, and transportation partners all in one powerful network. With over 200 trusted transportation providers, they deliver scalable solutions backed by real-time tracking and complete transparency. Go to SENTRYMS.com.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yeah, thank you. My message to those people that didn't vote for me, thank you for voting. I'm excited that everyone voted today. One thing I've learned is a lot of people don't vote. My goal by November, whether it's you're voting for me or you're voting for Mayor Bass, I'm going to get more people to vote. We don't have a city that votes and cares enough about our city. Everybody's given up because they've just accepted failure, nothing changes. Things can change if you vote. So to the people who didn't vote for me, thank you for voting and caring about your city. I hope to switch you and show you you're going to be voting for me in November. But regardless, we need 4 million people to vote in November.
Your opponents keep pushing. Are you going to debate Karen Bass again? And what do you want to tell her if she sees this?
You know, I love debating her on NBC. I look forward to a couple more on NBC and Fox. We can do debates every Friday if she would like, because it's actually became my most favorite thing to do. So, yes, as many debates as Mayor Bass would like.
What would you like to tell her now that it's on? Between the two of them?
I mean, she knows it's on. I hope she's ready, because I literally could not be more excited.
This is a campaign that started because you lost your home in the Palisades fire, because your parents lost.
Yeah, so some of the results are in. My friends, I'm not getting ecstatic yet with the California returns. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. Here's the deal. I explained this yesterday going through it. There are so many outstanding ballots out in California, and you already have liberal networks. Well, this could all change when the ballots come in. If blah, blah, this happened. In fact, play cut 5. Just keep the music. Play it. This is what I'm talking about.
It is this. How many total votes have been cast? Look, over 1 million for Hilton, over 1 million for Becerra. That's over 2 million. You're looking at nearly about 4 million votes right now with not quite half the vote in, meaning there are still 4 million votes to be counted in California, and a very significant chunk of those are going to be late arriving vote by mail that are going to be tabulated, maybe tomorrow, maybe in the coming days, maybe over the next week, whatever exactly it is. But that size of a pool, okay, we're talking millions of votes right here. When you see the advantage right now that Hilton has over Steyer, not Becerra, that Hilton has over Steyer, okay, you're talking about a 300,000 vote advantage, okay, 7 points. But in a pool of millions of votes, late arriving vote by mail, if it's dramatically more Democratic, which we've seen in the past, 300,000 votes is something that Steyer could overcome, and he could potentially pass Hilton. That would mean Becerra and Steyer would pass Hilton here, because it would just be overwhelmingly Democratic vote. It would benefit both of them, and that Republican share of that share for Hilton would just tick down.
My friends, California is a total disaster. This is why the SAVE Act is needed. This is exactly why the SAVE Act should pass. And this is by design. So you have a race. Election day was yesterday. They are still going to be collecting ballots for the next week in California. A week after Election Day, mail-in ballots will still be accepted. And what has to be, what are the well, it has to be postmarked. So, I mean, what is okay, I had a post on X from a postal worker. Well, every piece of mail is scanned and photographed. Okay, How about if they never reach the post office? How about if somebody out in California, and don't tell me that this is not possible, and I don't want to sound like a kook, I'm not saying it has happened, but if we can all sit here and just look at ways that this whole system could be rigged up if somebody wanted to. And don't tell me there are not people that don't want to. What if ballots are just waiting that have been postmarked, and no, they don't go through the postal system. They're just delivered to wherever someone is counting the ballots with phony postmarks on them? What's to stop it? This whole thing in California is a sham. And this is by design, that they do not, like most other states in not states in the United States, but also countries. Election day, you count the votes, and the winner gets this. California's jungle primary and these mail-in voting rules and these we don't look at ID rules, everything is built so that voters should have very little confidence in the outcome. As just looking from the outside, I have very little confidence that California as a state will do the right thing. Now, does that mean I expect Steve Hilton not to? You heard the report. They're celebrating now, but we've got 4 million votes to count. A significant chunk of 4 million votes that'll be coming in this week. Less than half the votes have been counted. On election day, in California, less than half the votes have been counted. It is a disgrace to this nation that California is allowed to get away with what they get away with in terms of the way they run elections. And this is one of the biggest reasons we need the SAVE Act. Democratic voters acted strategically in turbulent California election. That's the New York Times. After a turbulent primary campaign, Javier Becerra, a former Biden administration official, was on the verge of pulling off a Lazarus-like comeback. And Steve Hilton, a former Fox host endorsed by President Trump, also appeared likely to advance. He came in first. You wouldn't know it. So far on election day, before the Democrats do what they do, post-election, Steve Hilton came in first. And Steve Hilton scored in ways, and this may screw up the game plan if what happened in Southern California happens in the mail, is reflected in the mail-in voting. Go to Cut 6, please. Fox News report out of this, and this explains what I mean. This is unexpected, what happened yesterday.
Yeah, especially if you know L.A. County the way you do, the way I do. 51% in, and when you look at this, I mean, this is shocking. That's the only thing I can think of. Becerra, 29. Look at that. Steve Hilton, 215,000 votes in Los Angeles County. That should tell you a lot about how a lot of people feel in the Southland about how things have been going and what they feel like might be the proper way to move forward. I'm gobsmacked by that number. Just for some perspective, let me share, again, Orange County, this is what you would anticipate, right? 34 to 23, 16 for Tom Steyer. Steyer doing well, by the way, just north of Los Angeles. Let me take you over to Santa Barbara, 28, 25, 22. But even that is a big win. If you're Steve Hilton, you've got to be loving the fact that you're at 25% up in Santa Barbara County. But here's what I really wanted to draw your attention to, if you'll allow me for just a second. I'm going to take you up to just to Northern California, sort of Central California, up to Sacramento County. Look at this. Now, it's a government town. You know that, Trace. So you would expect that Javier Becerra would do very, very well. Hilton well back, but not as far back as some people might have anticipated. But let me share this. If you go in and around Sac, boy, does Hilton really start to pick up numbers, and it's consistent right there, 36 to 23. Pop over to Nevada, again, same thing, 33 to 21. It's going to be a very interesting night for Steve Hilton, and I imagine for a lot of people who didn't anticipate he would do as well as he is doing, Trey.
Now, if he's able to somehow or another overcome the Democrat jungle chicanery with mail-in ballots, and those numbers hold, in Los Angeles County, in places surrounding Sacramento, and then, of course, in the rural areas of California. Steve Hilton could be looking at an amazing track record coming out of this jungle primary. And that would set up a two-way if Becerra's numbers hold with Javier Becerra and Steve Hilton, which would be amazing. Also, you didn't see any stories today. I didn't see any stories today. Remember all the noise about Katie Porter, this, Katie Porter, that? It's like, yeah, Katie Porter lost, and it's just like, well, go away. They didn't even bother to give her any coverage. That other woman out in L.A., Nina, what's her name, they had her crying. I didn't put it in the sound bites because we have enough crying and screaming going on anyway. But the story is not over in California. Princess Diana and I spoke today. You know, we usually after big elections, Princess Di comes on and gives analysis, but we decided we're just going to wait because this is Californicate, and it is unclear as to how this is still all going to play out. I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, California is the reason, the biggest reason in America that we need the SAVE Act. Wasn't the only place that there were elections. In New Jersey, there was an election, and a guy named Adam Hammerwhite won his seat out in New Jersey. Now, I have a story here that did not get a lot of attention today about him. Here's the headline. This guy won in New Jersey. You New Jersey folks. You New Jersey folks. Something else. Leading New Jersey Democrat congressional candidate Adam Hammerwhite volunteered with Al-Qaeda-tied group in Bosnia. Adam Hammerwhite's past relationship with terrorist mastermind Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman has loomed over his rapid rise in the race to succeed retiring Bonnie Watson Coleman, Democrat, New Jersey. And that relationship, they're saying, with the blind sheikh, as he's known, spanned a 1991 road trip the two took together to Detroit, where Hamway served as the blind sheikh's translator for a press conference, where Abdul Rahman denied any role in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and he testified on the sheikh's behalf. This guy who Democrats elected, this progressive. But, this article says, and this is from the JewishInsider.com, but just 1 year before Hamway took the witness stand to describe his travels with Abdul Rahman, the now congressional candidate made a different journey with another party entangled in terrorist conspiracies to Bosnia, with a group that was subsequently shut down for providing logistical support to Al-Qaeda. In a 1996 interview with the Newark Star-Ledger, according to a copy Jewish Insider recovered through an archive of the print publications, Hamway described volunteering in Bosnia during the summer of 1994 with a Chicago-based nonprofit called the Benevolence International Foundation. They have a long quote for him there. And their offices, this group, were raided in 2002, part of a joint effort with the U.S. authorities to dismantle the group, which they identified as a front group for Al-Qaeda. He has been endorsed this winter, yesterday in New Jersey, by Bernie Sanders, Ro Khanna, Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and is now the candidate in New Jersey, with ties not only to the blind sheikh, but with ties to an Al-Qaeda front group. James Golden, Snerdley, don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
There's a lot of hearing stuff we have to get through. Marco Rubio, Scott Bessent. But we had a clip of the day yesterday. I must have spent 20 minutes after the show explaining exactly what it was. Some people say, well, I couldn't really hear it all with the music that was going on underneath it. And then another one, what was it? I thought someone was being tortured. So I'm going to just clear this up really quickly. And just forgive me for having to revisit something we did yesterday. But clip of the day yesterday was audio from the United States District Court of Northern District of Georgia during a lunch break. An employee must have snagged it walking through the hallways. They passed the chambers of Judge Eleanor Ross. She was in her chambers with Deputy Chief of Atlanta Police, Kelly Collier. That's the setup. They both are married. And when people walk past at lunchtime, the judge's chambers at the U.S. District Court, this is what they heard. Now, she's not being tortured, at least not in the traditional way. They've been reprimanded. By the way, I just learned, is married to another judge. I wonder what their mates think about this. I wonder if he recognized her screams. We're coming back with more news stuff.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Of course, the Superfly album took Curtis Mayfield's career into another trajectory. This is the theme from Superfly. Freddie's dead. Later on, he was paralyzed and continued to work. Paralyzed at a concert. A lighting rig fell on him. And worked from his wheelchair and paralyzed up to his death in 1999. An immensely spiritual man. I had the opportunity as a young buck working on the music side of the business to have a conversation with Curtis Mayfield. And ladies and gentlemen, he was just such a beautiful, wonderful, nice, gentleman, human being. I don't remember anything that we talked about. I just remember the impression of him just being so warm and just unpretentious and just a great man. Curtis Mayfield. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. It reminds me of the other one.
Yeah, it's the same album. And that's what I said to you. The first thing I said was Freddie's dead. Yeah. Pusher Man. Well, this is Pusher Man. I'm your Pusher Man. Yeah, man, this album killed, boy. It was just amazing. Okay, so out in California, too, well, let's do this. There was a loss in California from a guy who's kept running. He's not important, really, in the whole shape of national politics. His name is Ahmad Kampa-Najjar. He didn't make it, failed to crack in one of the new redistricted, where they've taken away a Republican seat where they're trying to in California. He came in a distant third behind Republican Jim Desmond and Democrat Marnie von Wilpert. So this guy, Najjar, is a perennial candidate. His girlfriend dropped $1 million on his campaign, and he lost anyway. Well, who was his girlfriend? His girlfriend was questioning Marco Rubio today. She represents the district in San Diego. Her name is Sarah Jacobs. Please listen to the exchange with Sarah Jacobs, a representative from San Diego, California, and Marco Rubio testifying today in the House.
I have one last question for you. Mr. Secretary, who won the 2020 presidential election?
I'm not here to answer a question. We're talking about 2020. This is a Foreign Affairs Committee.
Okay, great. You can't answer the question, even though we all know that President Biden won.
I don't answer the question because the Secretary of State, I do not participate in domestic political issues.
This is not about domestic political issues. This is about our democracy.
You're asking me to opine, just like I don't do campaign rallies.
It seems like
I don't do because as Secretary of State, we're not supposed to. That's been the long tradition of the department, and you should know that if you've been on this committee for any period of time.
Mr. Secretary, it seems like you have an issue admitting facts. You can't say that the president lost the 2020 election, just like you won't admit President Trump is losing this reckless war of choice, and just like you couldn't admit that the shoes the president bought you were too big. You clearly don't know what winning means, and not because the facts are unclear to you, it's because telling the truth would cost you your job, and the American people are entitled to a Secretary of State who tells them the truth even when the president doesn't want to hear it, and my constituents, our service members, deserve better. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I don't know what shoes she's talking about. What is she talking about?
Representative Burchett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you'd like to answer any of that.
Yeah, I don't know about the shoes. I mean, he gave me some Florsheim shoes. They're actually pretty good. They fit fine. I don't know what she's talking about. And maybe that's what she's referring to.
Your shoes look very nice today, Mr. Secretary.
Well, how can you see them? They're way down here. We're talking about shoes. Are you guys kidding me? I mean, is this the Foreign Affairs Committee or is this like a circus? What is this?
I think it's a circus.
That woman, do you want to know how a woman like that makes it into Congress? I'll tell you how that woman makes it into Congress. Again, her name is Sarah Jacobs. She is one of the wealthiest people in Congress who just dropped $1 million of her money on her boyfriend's campaign who lost out in California. But how did she get there? Well, her grandfather, is Irwin M. Jacobs. He was the co-founder of Qualcomm, the technology giant. Qualcomm. They're huge. They're in like billions huge company. So granddaughter makes it to Congress, and this is what you get from Nepo Baby on the Armed Services Committee, and she can't wait to just finish this dumb line of questioning, this absolutely dumb line of questioning about the 2020 elections at the Foreign Services Committee. This is absurd. But that's how you can get a Democrat, Sarah Jacobs, in Congress, apparently. Then you go to the East Coast. Gregory Meeks out in Queens, New York. Gregory, come on, Gregory. Gregory, would you just please? Gregory Meeks, cut 8. Gregory, would you just please stop it, Gregory? Please.
Did you warn President Trump before the war in Iran began that this conflict would drive up costs on gas, food, travel, and shipment?
Yeah, I'll warn you right now, I don't do yes or no answers.
Yeah,
So if
well,
these
I
are
only have
complex
5
questions.
minutes. I know when
Well,
you
so
were
do
the
I.
senator, you know
I
about
never
this
did yes or
business,
no answers
and I
to
know you're
people.
trying to go out so that you can run out my 5 minutes. That's a simple
I'm trying to
question.
run out your 5 minutes. You're running out your 5 minutes.
Did you?
I don't do yes or no questions. You want to ask me a question, I'll answer
I'm
your
answering.
question.
You answer my question. It's my time. Did you?
Did I what?
Yes or no? Did you warn President Trump
The president
before
was
the
fully-
Iran war began that this conflict would drive up cost on gas, food, travel, and shipment?
The president,
yes or no?
The president and the full administration was aware that there would be consequences to action, but the consequences
Let
of
me
Iran
move
having
on.
a nuclear weapon were worse.
Did you warn him? Did you warn him that launching a war in Iran could result in the regime placing a chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz?
All the risk factors were understood, but the most important risk
I
factor
just
was
want to know
Iran
if you did
cannot
your
have a
job.
nuclear
Did you
weapon.
warn him?
Iran
If
cannot
you
have
didn't
a
warn him,
nuclear
say
weapon.
yes.
I just want to know you did
It's
your
simple.
job. Did you warn
Everyone
him?
was aware of what Iran might
Did you
do in
warn him?
retaliation.
I'm asking you a second. Did you
Everyone
warn him?
was aware.
Don't
of
want to
what
answer that. Let
Iran
me ask
would
you the
do.
next question.
But the worst part
Did
is that
you
they
warn
can't
the
have a
president that launching U.S. strikes against Iran would result in retaliatory attacks on U.S. allies?
Hold it.
partners,
Just
and
stop right there. Hold on. Did you warn the president that launching an attack would result in retaliatory? Did you warn the president that if he attacked, that there would be retaliatory attacks? When one side attacks the other, unless they all just surrender and don't fight at all, there's usually like war. There's usually a retaliatory strike back. It's war. Did you warn the president that there gonna be a retaliatory? Greg, would you please stop? Come on, Greg. Make your staff work harder and come up with some decent questions. I want to ask you a yes or no. Did you warn him there was going to be a retaliatory? All right, let's move away from Greg Meeks. Boy, you are embarrassing Queens, Greg. Would you please? Come on, Queens does better than this. I'm from Queens. I'm from the place that this guy represents. And you would think that this is what... Greg, you're embarrassing us that grew up in the neighborhood. Can you please do some homework and come up with better questions? Okay. Then there's Ted Lieu. Ted Lieu went on a rant about how Donald Trump is cognitively impaired, how he's not well, et cetera, et cetera. Cut 9, this is Marco Rubio responding to Democrat Ted Lieu, another one of the rabble-rousing Democrats that always tries to make something out of nothing.
We have not seen the president in 8 days. The American people deserve the truth. I yield back.
I don't even know how to respond to that, other than to tell you that it's absurd and ridiculous. And I can't believe we're in a Foreign Affairs Committee meeting in front of the House at an important time in American foreign policy.
Just keep lying, Secretary Rubio. Just keep lying.
Supposedly someone who thinks he's a medical expert when he's not. The truth of the matter is we had a cognitively impaired president in office a few years ago. That's a cognitively impaired president. But I don't like to talk about that because it weakens America. This president we have, this is a guy that literally doesn't sleep. He works day and night, long hours, every single day. I don't know if you haven't seen him in 8 days. I saw him yesterday. I didn't see him yesterday because I was in Congress the day before. I talked to him at all hours of the day and night. He works inhumane hours. Okay, I've been on foreign trips with the president that he doesn't sleep in the whole flight. And everyone else is sleeping on the plane, and he's, wandering the hallways looking for someone to wake up and talk to that people are. So I don't know what you're referring to, but he has an incredible amount of energy. I'm just telling you, you may not like his policies. You may not like his policies, you may not like the decisions he's made, but I assure you, this is not a president that sleeps or is cognitively impaired in any way, shape, or form, and in fact is incredibly active, much more so in many cases than much younger people that are around him. Those are facts. I see it every day. You're not going to agree because you have another narrative that you want to push, but those are the facts.
My friends, I have on today's audio roster 3 sound bites about something that's happening overseas, and there's going to have to stay on hold until tomorrow, until the weekend. There's a case that is going on in the UK that is just horrendous. Henry Nowak. And if that name sounds familiar, it should. The long and short of it is that this kid was stabbed by a sheik who was a British citizen, who was a Sikh, who had 2 daggers with him. One is a ceremonial dagger, it's religious. The other, even some members of the Sikh religion are saying, hey, he shouldn't have been carrying that. Anyway, was stabbed by him, but claimed that the kid had said something racist to him. Now, this happened last year, but the video has just been released, and it has ignited a firestorm because this kid is laying bleeding on the streets with multiple stab wounds. And because the person that stabbed him to death, as it turns out, said, he said something racist to me in so many words, they handcuffed him. He kept telling the police over there, I've been stabbed. I can't breathe. Sound familiar? I can't breathe. I've been stabbed. They handcuffed him while he lay dying and let him bleed out. They at some point realized, he's not lying. At first they accused the kid of lying that he's been stabbed. One officer did. Anyway, there is massive uproar over there. Nigel Farage is now being attacked by the left wing, including Keir Starmer, for commenting on the case. We don't have a lot of time to play it. Maybe if we have to, we'll wait until Saturday, because I want you to hear all of this. It's important. We have the clip of the day coming up. It will not be the judge screaming in delight. Some people thought torture today. I'm glad we got that straightened out for those of you that had questions about yesterday's clip of the day. We will have another clip of the day today from another hearing on Congress, and we have a lot more to go, stuff that we could not get to today. So just hang in here with us. Birthday today for Niecy. Niecy was a background singer for Stevie, for Wonder Love, and she went on to have her own career. One of her first big hits was Free, Maurice White on the Arc label. That was the label for Earth, Wind, and Fire, with Niecy Williams. And this was big. She had a few hits with Johnny Mathis that were huge. Happy birthday to Niecy. And on this day, the Queen. Ree went to number 1 on the United States of America singles charts with this one. Her version of Otis Redding's Respect. James Golden, Snerdley, both Snerdley with you here. Fastest hour in American media continues with the clip of the day.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Rush Hour with James Golden
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, testifying today in Congress, addressed Senator Ron Wyden in a way that he has never been addressed before. This is our clip of the day.
Thank you. And I had hoped to keep this, in terms of the economy, Senator Wyden has mendaciously slandered the Treasury building in an attempt to cover up his son having an investment meeting with Jeffrey Epstein to ask for funding. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Let's be clear here. Nobody is interested in the ramblings of a capo in the most corrupt regime in American history. We want to get some facts about this deal. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I will ask my questions first today.
And we would like to hear what Adam Wyden and Jeffrey Epstein talked about. Your son's largest investment position was Rick's Cabaret. So did your son and Jeffrey Epstein talk about pole dancing as he begged him for money using your limited credibility?
Oh!
Should I just proceed?
I'm going to proceed with my questions. And, Mr. Secretary, I'm going to start with regard to the issues that Senator Wyden raised.
Like he did not know what hit him. He just had a look on his face. Peabo Bryson died last night. He is called the voice of love, 75 years old. He was born Robert Peabo, P-E-A-P-O. Peabo Bryson is his middle name, Peabo. One of his mentors had problems pronouncing it and just called him Peabo, and the name stuck with Peabo Bryson. By the time his second album was released, that second album, just amazing. That's the one with Feel the Fire on it. Reaching for the Sky is the name, the title of the album. It was a masterpiece. And Peabo went on from there, took off like a rocket. The duets that he sang, the movie soundtracks he sang, and earned him the nickname, the Voice of Love. But anybody that knows Peabo's catalog, just amazing. He was often asked to, go more contemporary. And he says he's not going to give up who he is. Not for any pop dream or promise of greater success. He's going to sing the music that he wanted to sing. Peabo Bryson, you were loved, missed, appreciated. The great Peabo Bryson. Your music will live forever. We got to get out of here. May God bless. Protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, back tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, I bid you adieu.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.